Namaste everybody, welcome to or back to my channel. This is Veena from India. Today I wanted to share my experience of working with the Animal Wisdom Tarot by Dawn Brunk or Brunky. I'm sorry if I didn't get the name right. This tarot is published by Chico Books. This is how the packaging looks. You get a good amount of cards displayed on the box, so you know what you're paying for, what you're getting inside the box. The box opens like this, and there you have the deck and the book. Not one of the best packaging according to me, because I do struggle putting it back inside the box. This is the guidebook. This is a full colored guidebook and comes with a lot of information. You get a lot of message, and you get the equal amount of message for both the major and the minor arcana here. She also gets into some spreads and also some numerology, a quick guide to numbers. You can see here she also gets into some numerology, the basic of how to read tarot cards, some spreads, and also a paragraph about each suit. The suits, the suits and the court cards both are renamed in this deck, but she does mention everything in the guidebook. The guidebook is really good. It's a well-written guidebook, in my opinion. Coming to the cards. The cardstock is pretty thin. But it has held up pretty well, although there are some chipped and frayed edges, which you can see in my card as we go through. There are a few, but they've held up pretty well. I have had this deck for about 3 years now, and they've held up pretty well through all the shuffling and all of it. But like I said, there are chipped and frayed edges. This is the major arcana. You have many different animals depicted in this deck. As you can see, the major arcana has the name of the animal depicted right here, like this, is the bull, keeper of sacred tradition in number 5, which is the Hierophant. So in a way, you have a kind of, it doesn't say Hierophant, but it gives you a keyword similar to that. So this is Honeybee, Heart Awakener, the lovers. I hope you can see that. Are you able to? And that is how the entire 21 cards of the major arcana is done. The depiction is very nice. It has pastel colors, one animal, the name of the animal on the card, the number. It's such a cute devil. Oh my god, I love him. And like I said, you know, one keyword or something, like the serpent is the tar, so it says Quickener, the Quickener. This is a very cute deck. Very kid-friendly in my opinion. Kids would enjoy going through this deck. If you're reading for some kids, this is a great deck to use. Now we have come into the minor arcana, and this I believe is the Pentacle suit. Fossils, yes. So fossils, so even the suits, like I said, are renamed. The fossils are the pentacles, branches are wands, feathers are swords, and shells are cups. It is not that difficult to know and remember the suit names, and there are different animals depicted in this. Although this is like a playful, fun deck, by no means is this a superficial reader. You can read intuitively out of this deck. There is so much symbolism in this deck, and like I said, it is by no means a superficial reader. It can go as deep as you want it to go. As you can see, there is so much color here, so much symbolism, animal medicine itself, and of course the traditional tarot meanings that you have. So there is a lot that you can tap into. This deck is amazing for directional readings. If you're someone who reads, based on which side the animal or the person is looking to, then this is a great deck for that. It gives some very, very deep readings, and it is very easy to read with, especially if you are someone who works a lot with animals and you already know a lot about animals. You don't even need to consult the guidebook. But of course, if you do consult, there is a lot that Dawn has given in there. But you can very much read with this without consulting the guidebook. Very intuitive deck, a lot of symbolism, lot of colors, a lot going on here that you can tap into. Just get that tiger, sun around his heart area, the colors. Look at that moon. Look at how this is the Three of Swords, and how all the three birds, again, their heart area, it's red, and it's raining. So there is a lot that you get to read with this deck. I have had some very, very deep readings, and like I said, it's a very easy reader. It gives some very deep but clear readings, very honest. And that's the last. Now let's get into the deck pairings. Coming to the deck pairings, the decks that I pair this with is the first one is the Chakra Reading Cards by Rachel Sharman. Now this art style is completely different, but I find that the energy of these cards are very similar. They give very deep, insightful readings, in my opinion. Just look at the colors. Sorry. Just get the colors. Clarity. Also, there are some animals in this deck as well. Which, justice and forgiveness, Hanged Man, Inner Strength. Death, Divine Wisdom. Temperance and Soul Healing. So you can see how this deck can match with that. The other deck that I find is really good with this one, that pairs very well with this one, is the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Lynn. This one. Again, you know, the storybook kind of artwork in this, it pairs really well with this deck. Even this, I think, to a great extent, is a storybook kind of art style. So both of them have, again, a very innocent, safe, and childlike energy. And they pair really well with each other. Even the colors. Okay, that's the Sacred Travelers Oracle cards by Lynn. Another deck pairing that I enjoy with this is the Prism Oracle. Now again, this is not a similar art style or anything, but it's purely because of the color. Just look at the pink here and here. Four of Fossils and Comfort. I mean, this is Four of Pentacles. Again, just look at the color. I find these two to read very well together. The colors match, and any of the three decks that I just used, they work very well as oracle for advice and also as clarifiers in a reading along with this deck. Otters, oh god. So these are the three oracle decks that I pair this deck with, and I have found really deep, insightful readings with these pairings. And I find this deck to be really fun, intuitive, and a very deep reader. This deck is actually my inner child deck. I use this deck for inner child work. It just feels very safe to me. It brings about a lot of childhood memories. I love nature. I love animals. This really brings up a lot of that memory, makes me feel safe. It's a very honest and clear reader, but it's not harsh. It tells me what it needs to tell me with a lot of gentleness. And it is a great reader for kids, even for adults who enjoy nature, animal, who don't like to see a lot of strong artwork. You know, people who are not happy looking at the Death card, the Ten of Swords, they definitely enjoy the gentleness of this deck. Overall, I love this deck, and I would highly recommend this deck for anybody who is a beginner as well as an advanced reader. Let me know if you have this deck, if you use this deck, if you love this deck, what are the other decks that you pair this deck with, what kind of readings do you use it for, and do you love it, and any other feedback or information that you would like to share with me about this deck. I would love to hear from you. So that's it. That's my review about this deck. Hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Namaste from my heart to yours. Take care.